If you're in Sydney and you come south on the M5 motorway all the way until it turns into the Hume Highway, then you follow that for about 45 minutes to an hour and take the Bargo Freeway exit. Follow that left on the aptly named Avon Dam Road for about 10-15 minutes. You'll come to Avon Dam. Construction began in 1921 and it took about 6 or 7 years until it was completed in 1928, and it's one of the biggest dams in the world, holding almost all of the water that feeds New South Wales and absolutely all of the water that feeds Sydney. Along with the other dams in the Upper Nepean scheme, this is primarily used for drinking water in the Sydney region and the wider New South Wales area. It has a capacity of 153 million gallons. I don't even know what number that is, 47153 million. Is that a trillion? Is that a billion? I don't know, but it's a fucking lot of water. There's 219,515 cubic yards of concrete in here. The length of the crest, including pylons, is 725 feet. The length of the spillway weir is 437 feet. Width at crest is 20 feet. Width at base is 200 feet. Full supply level above sea level is 1,050 feet, and the crest level above sea level is 1,060. The greatest depth of the water is 216 feet. Area of the lake is 2,609 AC, whatever that means, and the area of the catchment is 55 square metres. Average annual rainfall is 53 inches, average annual inflow is 15,450 mg. Water is pumped from the dam over the divide to the south coast towns. It may also be discharged as required to the river. At Pheasant's Nest, it's diverted by a weir to the Nepean Tunnel, 4.25 miles long, to Cataract River at Broughton's Pass, where it's again diverted by a weir to the Cataract Tunnel, 2 miles long, emerging into the Upper Canal, by which it is conveyed to the Prospect Reservoir, which feeds all of Sydney. Plenty worse places to drive to on your weekend road trip or your day off or whatever. It's part of the Upper Nepean scheme. As I said, the Nepean Dam is just over there, about a 15-minute drive. Well worth checking out, Come along, have a look at it. I'm at Avon Dam and I was going to make this into just one tiny little YouTube short, but I'll make a long one too, showing off all the views. So if you're watching this as a YouTube short or an Instagram reel, go and find me on YouTube. Watch the longer video as well. I earn money from those ones.
You want one through that bit, sorry. Okay.
There's been talk of raising this dam wall, increasing its height so that the volume of water being stored there can be higher or larger or increased also. In fact, I did my own video a few years ago, maybe 4 at this point, about the fact that we were running out of water because we were in a drought at that point, and that, in order for the population growth that we are building in Australia, in order to be sustainable in Sydney and New South Wales, that we would need to raise these walls and store more water so that we could last those droughts. I was being a bit alarmist. As it turns out, there was no problem. We had a whole bunch of floods. There's a shitload more water in there now. We've got more than we need. But, and this is a very, very big but, the argument could well be made that with climate change and with the onset of new climate factors, droughts in Australia are going to get worse, and there's no guarantee that floods will, because these dams are already here. And what that means is that we might have to, in the future, think about raising the walls. So why wouldn't we do it when we've already got heaps of water, I don't have the answers, and it's important to note that the local Aboriginal Land Council, the Darawal guys, like the Darawal Land Council for this area, is vehemently against raising the dam walls, because there are some cultural artefacts for their country or their community, or their, for lack of a better term, whatever you want to call them. There are some significant Darawal cultural impacts that would occur should the dam wall be raised. It's rumoured there are cave paintings around here somewhere that would get drowned out if more water came in, but they won't show us where, and I'm not disrespectful enough to go looking, but it's a catch-22, isn't it? You know what I mean? Or a catchment 22. Ha ha ha. There's some wordplay. Because obviously deep respect for Aboriginal culture, and we don't want to ruin any cultural landmarks that they have, but we already have. And so if it means more water, we're not running out of water, then maybe. I don't know. This lighting isn't great, so pause it whenever you can see the statistic you're interested in, if you can. Well, that's a better angle, isn't it? When the world goes to shit, this is where I'm coming. That right there is going to be my little spot next to the water. I'm going to fish off there, have fires there, camp there, be protected from the elements by this. This is my little homeless encampment I call Shotgun. When the world goes to shit, when we're in nuclear winter, like bags, dibs, this place is mine. If you come here before me, no you didn't. I live in the area and I love coming down here with my boys. I think it's tranquil, it's serene, you know, it's a really nice spot to be. And I respect the Aboriginal cultures that first looked after these lands, and I respect the Europeans and various immigrants that helped build the dams here as drinking water for all of us to get by with. And there's no real point other than me needing to get content up and get the views up. People like my Australian content. I am Australian, I'm in Australia. It's worthwhile, I enjoy it. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're following along on Instagram, hit that button too. I like money. Turning some of yours into mine on a monthly basis would be ideal. I have a Patreon, I have YouTube membership, there's super thanks, all that sort of stuff. If this sort of thing is something you're interested in seeing from me, reward it and pay for it, that would be handy. Don't feel like you have to though. If you're watching this on YouTube, you've already paid for it via ad revenue, so I appreciate it. If you have a buck to spare, give it to me though, because with the economies of scale, I'll be rich. Every bend you go around here, there is a spare toilet. There's a public toilet, because obviously they don't want you to pee on the side of the road right next to our drinking water. That wouldn't make sense. Anyway, that's Avon Dam. I'm out of here. I'm going to go and clean up the highway, I think. You might get that video first. But yeah, hit subscribe, hit follow, wherever you're watching this. You know how I earn money from it. And if you don't, consider learning, because I like money, and turning some of yours into mine would be handy.